Alright, so I'm going to try to make this video as quick as possible so I can get it uploaded as quick as possible, because if I don't, a lot of these sales may not apply anymore. So let me hurry up and get this started. This all started with one game, and this game is called Oxide Room 104. I've actually meant to message Trick about this and ask him, hey, have you checked it out? It's 80% off. It's only $4.99. It is a horror game, the first person perspective is quite brutal in a lot of its imagery, but a lot of the game is really more focused on puzzle solving, but puzzle solving while you're under incredible duress. There isn't as much action or combat in this one, but it's still a really good game, especially for those who like horror games. Another game I saw on sale is the Handsome Jack collection. Now this game, or collection, basically has over 100 hours of content, and it's only $9.99. The games are actually pretty good, especially games. I know a lot of people are torn on number 3, but if you like first-person shooters that are kind of zany and crazy and about finding loot, this is a really good game and a good collection. Another game that I saw on sale is a game that I've reviewed about a year or two ago. It's called Cerulean 3. Now in this game, it is more a monster collecting, monster breeding style game, over 700 different monsters, and you can run through these procedurally generated dungeons that allow you to upgrade your characters. There's actually no level cap, so the game can pretty much go for forever. There is a ton to this game, and if you're somewhat interested in it, I'd check it out because it's only $7.49 right now, and I can tell you this game has just so much content. Like, for me personally, I really felt like I hadn't even scratched the surface of all the things that you could do in this game. It's a very crazy game, but it's a really good, like, monster collecting style game. Now, onto another game that is more relaxing, if you will, and there's a game called Dorfromantik, which is a tile building, civilization building style game that you kind of do it at your own pace. What I really like about this game is honestly the strategy that goes into it. You see, because you can set up these environments and you have little tiles. Now, each environment will play off of the previous one or the one next to it. So you can actually create like a more productive area by matching the right tiles. And honestly, the game actually looks really good. Like when you look at the world after you're building it or while you're building it, it just looks really cool. It's $11.99, and honestly, it's a pretty good price, especially if you like that style of games. Now, another game that I had discovered recently is actually a game called Summertime Madness. This game isn't incredibly long. I think it's only about 3 hours. It takes place in 1945, and you're like a struggling artist who makes a deal with the devil, and you end up getting trapped inside one of your own paintings, and you've got to figure out how to get out of it. The high point for me in this game is just the imagery. It looks so vibrant, yet so off-putting in a way, and at times very surreal. And I think the whole experience is worth it at $8.99. And speaking of other games that are worth it on discount, a game called Hero Express, which I have really enjoyed. Now, it's kind of one of those pick-up, put-down style games. It's essentially like Excitebike in a lot of the ways that it controls and what you're trying to do, but you're essentially trying to supply heroes with the supplies that they need to take down bad guys, major enemies and monsters and whatnot. Now, the game is only $2.49, and I think it sits right at that price, because it's not a game that's going to like keep you busy for hours, but for a good like 20-30 minutes of just kind of playing around and having fun, trying to break your own records, get further in the level, it's actually really enjoyable. On to another game that I actually reviewed quite recently. It's a game called Fairy Fencer F Refrain Chord. Now, this is a game that is 70% off. It's a big JRPG, tactical style RPG, and it is only $14.99. So just for content alone, you're getting a really good deal, but the game itself is just really good. There is a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of talking. It is just really polished, honestly. As I said before, yeah, it's heavy on dialogue, but also heavy on combat as well. There's just a lot to the game. I honestly can't believe that it's 70% off. Only $15 right now. Now, another one of these JRPGs that you're going to get a ton of content out of and is relatively polished is a game called Death and Request. Now, I haven't actually played it, I just read into it. In fact, I've never heard of it until I saw this on sale. The first one is actually $8.99 right now, and the second one is $14.99. Now, both of those run respectively, I think $29.99 for the first one and $59.99 for the second one. So the ability to be able to pick up both of those games, or even just one of those games, for a fraction of the cost is, I would say, well worth it. Everything about the game looks really good. In fact, to the point where, yes, I did actually pick it up. I also picked up another JRPG called Mega Dimension Neptunia 7. Now, this is another one that I'm not that familiar with. I feel like I've heard of it, but haven't really played it or even looked into the game itself. But again, 75% off at $7.49 for one of those big JRPGs. How can you say no to that? Like, that's just nothing but a lot of content. And I'll be honest, I actually just purchased it based off the trailer and some of the images I saw, but it looked like it was definitely well worth it. And plus, it's from a really good publisher, so I have faith that $7.49 is more than a good enough price for this. Now, another game that I picked up, yes, I spent a lot of money on sales recently, and this is the only reason I'm doing this video, just because I found all these games on sale. I was kind of shocked, but it's a game called Mary Skelter 2. It is another JRPG. It's actually more in the style, though, of like a dungeon crawling, that first-person perspective. You see a lot of those old-school RPGs. But this one is 80% off at $7.99. Again, a game I have no real experience with, never played it, but I did buy it, so that should mean at least something. What really caught my attention with this game, though, is it sells itself as like a horror-style RPG/dungeon crawler. I'm not typically into the dungeon crawler style games. There's a few. It really has to be a little bit different, and the fact that this one has like that horror element, that definitely did it for me. Another game that is on sale that I would definitely suggest picking up, especially if you're just interested in the series, is Vampire Masquerade Swansong. It is $11.99 right now. This is a game that's been on my wish list for a very long time. It almost never goes on sale. It's typically $59.99. It is more of like that Telltale choose your own adventure style game. Not as much on like action or combat, but it is a very good series, and I'm only about an hour in, I'll be honest, but everything I've done so far I've been very impressed with. I can see why so many people really like the game. Another game that I picked up is a game called Anima Gate of Memories. Now, this is an action-adventure style game that looked to be more on that like almost hack and slash style gameplay. 87% off for only $2.59, so I figured I had to check it out. It looked like the style of game that actually might be a little bit more free-flowing and just in and out of combat, having fun with like that kind of action RPG aspect instead of everything being strategic. And a lot of times I do like that open world kind of free-flowing combat style game, and that definitely seems like this is that kind of game, and for less than $3. I mean, $2.59, can't really go wrong. Another game that I saw that I attempted to pick up is a game called Chronicles of Two Heroes. I know it has a longer title, and I'm not sure what the other part is because I didn't write it down. It looked to be almost like a Mega Man style, like Metroidvania game. Apparently you can switch between the two heroes. It was only $3.99, and that's the reason I bring it up, is I think there's enough people that might be really interested in that style of game, and it looked to be high quality for only $3.99. Castle of Heart is another one that I've actually played before and reviewed and talked about. I was really impressed by the quality of the game because it's almost always on sale. Not always, but it goes on sale quite a bit, and it's only $1.99, so I just figured I'd add it in here. As well as a game called Firework, which also seems to be like that Mega Man, Metroidvania style of game. And if I'm honest, this is one of those games that I just saw the trailer for, and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. I think many people could like it. And yeah, it's on sale for $7.49 right now. And finally, a game called The Forest Quartet, which is a story-driven game about a band, a four-piece band, and their singer passes away, and so you kind of follow the final goodbyes, and you get the band members ready for like this one final song, and it's a really good game. I've played it. It's relatively short, but it's only $1.99. I think it's one of those games that is just a good experience. And for any of those who have not played Figment yet, Figment is also $1.99. Just a really great game. I love the series. Both of the games are really good. I know the second one does have a few like issues with it, performance-wise and whatever. I don't even know if they fixed it. They may have fixed it by now. I'm hoping they have, because now I think about it, I played it at launch. But regardless, Figment is just a really great series. Absolutely love it. And being able to pick up the first game for $1.99 is a great deal. Anyway, I am going to upload this video with very little editing, so I apologize for all of my blunders and whatnot. I just want to get it up as quick as possible so you guys can check it out. Anyway, guys, I love each and every one of you. Take care, everyone.